All right. All right. All right. I'm going to break it to you gently. Losing fat is not that hard. It is not. Physiologically speaking, it's just a matter of changing your lifestyle habits and doing the same things repeatedly, consistently, and without fail. Now, all the weight loss programs you've ever done in your life could have worked, at least temporarily. But no matter how good the weight loss program is, gaining the weight back has the same recidivism rate as prison. Prison inmates that go to prison, it's high 80s to 90% of them return and go back to prison again. Same with weight loss and weight gain. 90% of the people who lose weight gain it back within 5 years. 70% gain it back within 2. And the percentage is just alarming. And I know why. It's not because people lose their willpower. It's not because they're lazy. It's not because it didn't work. Because at the end of the day, if you burn more calories than you consume each day, you're going to lose weight. You might lose muscle. It might be unhealthy, but you will lose weight. If you do all 9 of these things each day, you will burn fat. And they're not that complicated. But here is the truth. And if one of these are hard for you or complicated, let me know, and I will show you where to find the answer. Most of you will not do this for 30 days in a row. Because you can't just do it one day and expect results. Changing your body, changing an old limiting belief, changing an old behavior, changing a life situation requires consistency. It means doing it again and again and again. Repetition. Just like lifting weights at the gym, repetition. Learning to play the piano, repetition. Learning to ride a bike, get on it, fall, get back on it, fall, get back on it, fall, get back on it, go a little further, go a little further, go a little further. Then everyone's celebrating, yeah, you did it. But you didn't. Most people don't do it on their first try. Now, here is what you need. You need action cues and accountability. If you just want to do it, you just decide, I'm going to try my best to do it, you will only do a little bit and you won't do it consistently because you have a human brain, and old hardwired programs are the ones that stick around the longest. You are not just dealing with your prefrontal cortex, you're dealing with your subconscious, your amygdala, which is your emotional brain, your brainstem, and when certain life events happen, you go right back to the default programs, which usually are going to say, be comfortable. Do the comfortable thing. Don't spend time doing something because you have all these other things to do. All right, action cue. What I do for the action cue for the morning ritual. First thing you should do every morning for the next 30 days is the morning ritual. Do it every morning. It's probably the most important one if you're just starting off. So have your water, your ACV, and your water, whether it's a cup or what have you, just right there as soon as you wake up. So you see it. So you basically have to see your cue and say, no, I'm not going to do it. You can't say you forgot because a cue is a reminder to take the action. You could stack actions. You weigh yourself, brush your teeth, and then go do it. Bam, you're stacking it. Do it right after another action. So cues. Let's see. A cue for sleep for 7 hours a night. That cue is going to be, so number one, ACV out to sea. The rhyme is unintentional, but I like it. Make sure it's out so you can see it. It reminds you, oh, got to do my morning ritual. Want to heal my gut microbiome. I trust and believe that this is going to help long term, so I'm going to do it for 30 days in a row. And tell you what, if you do all of these for 30 days in a row, and no fat comes off, I will gladly refund your misery. Because you truly have nothing to lose but body fat. Truly. So, number one, ACV out to sea. Sleep for 7 hours a night. Your cue is not a bedtime alarm. It is a shutdown alarm. And literally have an alarm set on your watch, on your clock, somewhere that beeps and says, it's time to turn off the devices. It's time to stop trying to handle stressful problems. It is time to breathe. It is time to decompress. And within 30 to 20 minutes, we'll say 30, you're in bed. But without this cue, it's easily to forget it. Very, very easy. Your cue for protein. Plan your protein. Today for my protein, I know what I'm going to have. I know how I'm going to get my 180 grams of protein. I eat 180 grams of protein a day without fail, unless it's a fasting day. Plan it out. Don't just say, oh, I've got to get my protein in. Start looking around, and you find some salami and some bologna and some tuna and some chicken, and you basically are scrambling for it. Plan it in advance. Okay, number 4, drink 100 ounces of water a day. This one is perhaps the easiest. Watering holes. Now, a watering hole is like in the old days when horses would go from place to place. There was always a watering trough or hole or trench for them to drink water from. Have the same thing. I have water on this desk. I have a water by my bed. I have a water at my other desk. I have a water in the kitchen. I even have a water in the bathroom, and I take a sip of it right when I'm done. Don't wait till you're thirsty. That means you're already slightly dehydrated. And I'll tell you what, if I fill up 5 of these in the morning and I drink all 5 of them before the end of the day, before 5 o'clock, I have hit my water goal. You won't just do it. We are stuck in our old comfort programs. They're going to stay in those old programs unless you create new ones. And creating new ones requires belief, words, and repetition. So, setting up cues where you go to them and you write them down. I mean, you go to the cues and you have a way to be accountable for it, but you also have visual or auditory sounds and sights that remind you, oh yeah, better drink some water. Drink some water. By the end of the day, I have all my water in. Now, number 5, move your muscles for 30 minutes a day. Schedule movement. Set an alarm. Schedule your movement. Don't wait till you have time. Don't wait until after work. Don't wait until the kids go to bed. Don't wait until you feel like it. Schedule what time you're going to do it. Because even if you do 15 minutes and you know you're going to do it and you just don't feel like it, but you do it anyway, something in your brain is happening. It's more than burning the calories. By the way, the calories you burn from exercise aren't going to help you lose fat that much. It's the ongoing pattern of exercising and the muscle activity, specifically the mitochondria in the muscles, that's going to accelerate your metabolism, release more growth hormone, and help you burn fat throughout the day. Now, here's where it gets very interesting. When you do something new, even though you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it, especially when it feels uncomfortable, foreign, and new, something in your brain happens. Neuroplasticity. Now we have cells in our body. We have fat cells, we have blood cells, we have muscle cells, lots of cells. But in our brain, we have neurons. Well, throughout our body, we have them in our gut and our heart, but especially a lot in our brain. The neurons that fire together wire together. So when you start firing the neurons and say to yourself, I am choosing to move my muscles while you're firing them, you create a new neural pathway. So it's very true that when you're very young, neuroplasticity comes very quickly and easily, but it's been proven by science that neuroplasticity happens at any age. It's perhaps true that the older we are, the more repetition we have to do, but our brain is always changing, and the way we can tell it how to change is by doing the action and stating our intention. I am choosing to move my muscles. Give a reason if you want. But if you say, oh gosh, I gotta work out, I can't believe it, I'm just gonna take a walk, I don't feel like lifting any weights, I don't like that Coach Tommy, you're like, geez. If you think that way, it's not gonna work. It's a mind-body experience. But if you do it, even though you don't feel like it, a feeling is a thing. You are not your feelings. I'm not my feelings. But they're things. But our feelings cannot dictate our actions because they're going to keep us stuck in our old patterns. So, schedule the workout. As soon as the sound goes off, start working out. Just start. Don't even think about it. And say, I am choosing to move my muscles right now because I want authentic health. I'm choosing to move my muscles. And say it again and again and again in your mind the whole time you're doing it. You will create new neural pathways. And then moving your muscles will become a habit. It was habits that got you to this place. You can blame it on hormones. You can blame it on past trauma. You can blame it on the food choices. You can blame it on your ex-husband, your current husband. You can blame it on your kids. You can blame it on your mom and dad. You can blame it on your genetics. It is habits. It's the repeated actions of thought and behavior and the feelings you have while doing them throughout a period of time that created anybody's life situation. And this applies to weight, finances, health, relationship, and I already said finances, but I'll say wealth. It applies to all the major goals in life. We have created a situation through our repeated actions and habits. But it's more than just what you do, it's how you think about it. And that brings me to the next one, daily thought emotional awareness inventory. Here's how you do this one. Everybody on their phone, whether you have Android or Apple, iPhone, I would say that most people have an iPhone, but I could be wrong. There's something called voice memo. Open a voice memo, and whenever you have an unpleasant feeling, ask yourself, what was I thinking right before? I felt kind of insecure, worried about Lisa being bored on the call. Boom. That's it. I record that thought. Maybe later in the day, I got on the sales call afterwards that they didn't buy, and I felt like I didn't do a good enough job, or maybe I wasn't good enough. I didn't like the way I felt, and I just kind of thought that. That's my inventory. They're all right here. I don't have to write them down. I don't have to find them, but later I have to write them down because you're going to find, oh, here's another one. Even though we're working on it, Rocket keeps barking when cars go by, and it just makes me mad, and I feel like I'm not doing a good job as his doggy daddy. I need to work on, I just need to let it go, or I need to get him to stop barking. Boom. That one comes up a lot, and it bothers me a lot. So that's emotional and thought inventory, because unless your inner stance, your inner body, your attitude towards yourself in life, the way you show up, the way you exist, your level of consciousness changes. Doesn't matter how much weight you lose, you'll gain it back. You've heard, if you change your mind, if you change your body and you don't change your mind, you're going to go right back to the old body. Same is true. If you change your mind, changing the body can become second nature. But it's not just your thinking mind. It's the attitude, the energy, the beliefs, and the level of consciousness. We must have a consciousness shift. But I can't, no one can fix the limiting thoughts and beliefs and emotions unless we're aware of them. If you can become aware of one limiting thought, one disturbing thought about your life, about yourself, about your environment, about your significant other, about your kids, about your family, about your house, about your dog. I love you, Rocket. If you can become aware of one of them and minimize it and lower cortisol by 1 or 2%, you will burn more fat. We think about anywhere from 100,000 to 1,000,000 thoughts a day. 90% of them are the same thoughts we thought the day before. But we keep thinking the same thoughts again and again. We're used to them. They're familiar. But these thoughts all trigger feelings. These feelings are keeping people stuck. The way you feel on the inside is keeping you stuck. It keeps me stuck. It's not just the words you think, it's the inner energy you have, your level of consciousness. So the only way to fix this is to be aware of it. Now this is deep, but you can't do anything about it until you're aware of what's going on. All right, number 7. This one is Simple Simon. Number 6, changing colors. Use voice memo. Use voice memo and record. If I could tell you how important this one is, if I could tell you all the people I've helped lose 20 pounds or more who gained it back because they did not change their inner stance, their inner level of consciousness, you would say, oh yeah, I better do that. But if you're thinking, that's not going to burn any calories, that's not going to lose any weight, I'm not going to even bother, who cares about them? Yeah, they are impacting you. But moving on to number 7, which is, this one's easy. Wait till 10 a.m. to eat. Stop eating before 7 p.m. Sundown. If it's dark, don't eat. Don't eat. Just don't. Go to bed hungry. It's better for you to go to bed hungry than it is for you to eat after dark. Fasting is one of the healthiest things we can do for our body. And in the morning, just look at the clock. If it's not 10 a.m., don't eat. Now, if you are on a timed eating protocol, which all of you should be, at least eventually, on some days you're going to wait till 1, 2, 3 o'clock to eat. Some days you won't eat at all. It really depends on how aggressively you want to align your hormones. And I said this before and I'll say it again. Fasting can heal almost any physical disease or ailment. Science has proven it. It's not sexy, it's not fun, it doesn't cost anything, but fasting can heal almost any physical ailment, including cancer. And spiritually, alignment, mindset, belief-wise, one thing that Buddha, the Prophet Muhammad, and Jesus had in common is fasting. Fasting for spiritual connection, fasting for clarity, and fasting for health. So when in doubt, fast it out. Okay, your cue for number 8. Burn more calories than you consume. %80 full. When you feel 80% full, stop eating. Number 2, there's several ways to do this. Number 2, and this one I hate to even do it myself. I hate to ask anyone to do it. Track your calories in MyFitnessPal. Number 3, know your calorie accountability number. Your calorie accountability number is a number that as long as you don't pass that, you will lose weight and you definitely won't gain weight. And number 8 is probably the one that I like the least, but it's thermodynamics. And number 9, use your hormone-healthy food list. and ask yourself this question. What the F am I putting in my mouth? Is this for food? Is this for flavor? Is this for fun? Is this for feelings? Is this for medicine? Or is this for fuel? For medicine, for fuel. That's what we want to do. You've spent many, many days not eating very much during the day and then splurging and eating whatever you wanted because you haven't eaten very much. Not helping. But if you are very aware of what you're putting in your mouth and ask yourself, what the F am I putting in my mouth? And is it fuel? Is it for healing? Is it for just flavor, for fun? Am I just bored? Is it for feelings? Is it for friends and family or festivities? Everyone else is eating, I should too. If your body fat is an issue, and I'm assuming it is because you're on this call, and it has been for me, so I know the feeling. Food has to be redefined as fuel and medicine and for healing, and be very aware if you're using it for something else. And I'm not saying to be perfect and never eat for flavor. I'm not saying don't have fun at a party and eat whatever you want. I'm saying be aware of why you're eating it. Don't just eat it because. Don't eat unconsciously. Raise your awareness. Raise your level of consciousness when it comes to what you're eating, and you will be healthier because of it. And sometimes if you're eating for flavor, get the flavor. You don't have to eat the whole cake to get the flavor of the cake. You can have a bite. But you have to choose to do that. So the moral of this story is you will not stick to these unless you have action cues. And I just gave you an action cue for each one. Second part, accountability. Reach out to someone in the group and say, hey, Teresa, I'm going to message you. And someone that's active, someone that's the same level of activity as you, someone that you can count on, someone that you want to partner up with, and say, how would you like to be accountability partners? And hold each other accountable. Make the agreement that each day you're going to tell the other person what you did and that you will check in on the other person if you don't hear from them. It is very hard to keep yourself accountable to new habits. Very hard. We can all use as much support as we can get when we're trying to dial in new habits. So I'm going to encourage you to find an accountability partner and ask that accountability partner to check on you and make an agreement that you're going to check in with each other. Because if you have a partner, you're going to help yourself and you're going to help that other person and vice versa. And if you're doing it with love and light and not fear and judgment, it's going to help you more than just holding on to your actions. It's going to help you spiritually and your inner state. So, action cues, put them in place, and accountability. If you do these things, you cannot fail. You will start losing fat. Now, when it comes to keeping the fat off, that's where your authentic power comes in. I call it alignment. I call it authentic power. It is taking over control of your choices because you're aligning with your higher self. The power of your authentic whole self. Holy self, if you like to call it that. And the one we're going to cover today is your power of choice. And I would say these two powers can significantly shift the trajectory of your life. Sometimes we made the same click-run choice, meaning stimulus happens, triggers you, clicks the program runs, you just start doing it without even thinking. It's unconscious. It's like a default reaction. A reaction and a choice are complete opposites. A choice means you are choosing. And the fact that we have the ability to choose what we're going to think about right now, what we're going to do right now, and to an extent how we're going to feel right now, That choice can change our lives. So first thing, choose your words. Choose your words. One word everyone can do without, and I invite you to fast. We're going to fast from words and thoughts. And one word to fast from is should. Stop shoulding on yourself. Should does not help you. And when I say fasting from the word, that means don't say the word, don't think the word, and eliminate all of the meaning around the word for 30 days. Because when you think about what you should be doing, or what you should have done, or what they should have done, or how that should be, you are shoulding on yourself. And it sounds witty, but it absolutely takes away your authentic power and shrinks your level of consciousness. Should is not at all powerful. What's powerful is I am. I am choosing. I am doing this. So if you catch yourself with should, eliminate it. Second one, it will make everybody healthier and less depressed and more proactive. Blame. Stop blaming yourself. Stop blaming your situation. Stop blaming other people. Stop thinking blame. Stop projecting blame. Stop using blame as an excuse or an alibi. Blame is not helpful. Never does anyone any good. You blaming someone else, me blaming someone else, does them no good, does me no good. I'm still in the same situation. I promise you, figuring out what or who is to blame for your current life situation will not change your life situation. Going back in time and figuring out what trauma caused this program won't change the program. Knowing where it came from and knowing who and what to blame won't change it. The only thing that will change it is awareness right now. Awareness that the program's there, and awareness that that program is working against you and what you desire. So eliminating should and blame. And as you're taking your inventory, what keeps coming up that if you were to fast from for 30 days would help you feel more peaceful, more aligned, more energetic, and more capable? So I suggest everyone get rid of should and blame. I mean, you've heard this one a million times, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. Can't, doesn't work. You can say, I won't do it. Your friend says, hey Lois, can you go to the movies with me tomorrow night? Or can you go play bingo with me tomorrow night? Lois might say, I can't. I have other things to do. No authentic power there. I won't do it because I don't want to. I won't do it because I'm doing this instead. You still could. It may not be ideal, but you could if you wanted. You could if it was meant the world to you. But the truth is you won't. And won't's okay. I choose not to. I won't do it. Now you're controlling your power. Now you're making a choice. But by saying I can't, you're slipping into a victim stance, a victim state, a victim attitude. Words are super powerful because your prefrontal cortex, your thinking brain, uses them. So does your subconscious. Be aware of the words you choose and make sure they match your desire. Can't will never, ever, ever help you. Won't will. So saying I won't do it as opposed to I can't do it gives you authentic power and the power to choose. Or I'm choosing not to. If you feel like you owe them an explanation, give them the truth. Liars don't heal. This is a really hard fact I learned. Liars don't heal. They don't heal from disease. They don't heal from depression. They don't heal from heartbreak. They don't heal from financial chaos, they don't heal from bad relationships. Liars don't heal. And everyone's right away saying, I'm not a liar. I never lie. You lie to yourself. We act like something's not bothering us when it is. We act like we have things figured out when we don't. We act like we put on a happy smile and fake it till we make it, or fake like things are good when we really don't feel that way. We don't get better and heal unless we are authentic, and in order to lie to anyone else, we have to lie to ourselves. So be very careful what words you think and what words you say, what words you write, what words you share, and make sure they are authentic to who you are today and your desire, what you're moving towards. So it all starts with this inventory. What are the thoughts causing the emotions that are unpleasant? What are they? Some unpleasant emotions are unavoidable. And after an emotion's there, by the way, that's a energy emotion. An emotion is an entity of its own. It's different than a thought. And it's truly energy more so than a thought. A thought is a message that travels along neurotransmitters. An emotion is a mix of neurochemicals and hormones. And you can feel it throughout your body. And if you go like this with your forearm, this is your amygdala and this is your brainstem, the emotional center of your body. So when something triggers an emotion, a message gets sent to your amygdala, which is sort of like your croc brain, your reptilian brain, and it sends the emotion throughout your body. And the big emotion it usually sends is fear. I'm in danger. Let's activate the fight or flight response. When you're in danger, fat burning shuts down, healing shuts down, you go into a protective state where you're ready for an emergency, and you don't burn fat, you don't repair cells, everything's in protective mode. So activating thoughts and emotions that trigger your fight or flight in your amygdala and your brainstem are slowing down your recovery, your healing, and your fat loss. But you can't do anything about it unless you're aware of what those thoughts are that you keep repeating. I do it. I was doing it all day today. I had to catch myself again and again and again. And it was all about my other job, and it was just like, okay. And I had to redirect my thinking, my feelings, because if I kept thinking that same thought, I would have felt really stressed, really fearful, really unhappy, really unpleasant. Same thing's happening to you. Be authentic and honest with yourself. So I'm going to put a post up saying takeaways from today's live teaching. I would like you to share, what words are you fasting from? Words have power. And I'm not asking you to drop them forever. Oh man, if I was going to suggest one more, it would be guilt. Oh, and shame. Those ones are life suckers. But I've already suggested enough. You try to overwhelm people with fasting, they say, I'm not doing anything. So start with should. Start with can't. But guilt, blame, and shame, if you can get rid of those, you are going to have a lot less cortisol, fight or flight hormones coursing through your body, slowing down your fat burning. I've had people do everything right. Follow their fast fed rhythm, follow their timed eating protocol, eat the hormone-healthy foods, only eat till they're 80% full, work out every day, and barely lose any weight because their cortisol levels and fight or flight hormones were so high. Their body would not burn fat. So to ignore the thoughts and the emotions, that's crazy talk. But you can do something about it. Choose your words, your power of choice. Choose your actions. Choose your thoughts. And if emotion comes, my advice is don't give it a story. Don't give it words. It's unpleasant. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. It will pass. It will stay along all day if you keep telling a story about it, if you keep feeling bad about it, if you keep thinking about it. But an emotion will last about 30, 90 seconds at the most if you just let it, if you feel it and let it flow. But they're physiological energies in your body, and they impact a lot more than your present state. All right. If you've seen this before, I'm going to remind you instead of teach you. If you've never seen this before, I'm going to show you why you don't get to your goal and what to do about it. There's 3 states. The straightest way to get to what we want. 1, we become aware. Okay, I don't like my current situation. We're aware of it. And we find the shortest distance between what we are aware of and want to change to what we want to become. And we follow that line. That's called straight line state. Straight line alignment. It's very rare that that happens. But people that are high achievers in life, in finances, in health, in relationships, great mom, great dad, great kid, great doggy dad, what have you, they are following the straight line, doing the actions without distractions to get them to what they want, what they're becoming. Now, we all have been on a straight line in certain things in our life. There's the second type. It's called looping. It's where you want to lose 50 pounds, and you see this program, you see my program, you see keto, you see macros, you see insanity, you see what your friend's doing at the gym, you see working one-on-one with a personal trainer, you see all these things and all these reasons, and you collect all this information. But hormones, and they said that you shouldn't work out when you're fasted. And you keep collecting information, and you get caught in this information loop, just collecting more and more information. Whoa, someone drew a line. Collecting information, and you don't move forward because you're stuck in the information collecting loop. And when that happens, it's not going to help you. I'm not sure who drew that line, but fancy pants, I'm not mad at you, but I hope you don't do it anymore. I'm going to erase that line. Boom. Clear all drawings. Boom, I did it. But that's a straight line. Whoever did it, you were on. That's what we want. Okay, here's the other one, and you probably can relate to this one. That's it. I am losing this extra 20 pounds. I'm doing whatever it takes. I'm going to do this and do this and do this. I am so motivated. You start moving forward, start going forward, and then all of a sudden, your car breaks down. Can't get to the grocery store. Can't get to the gym. Oh, man, my car broke down. You zig forward, you zag back. Here I am again where I started. You start going forward again, because you still really want that desire. You don't want to be overweight. You don't want to be fat. You don't want to look bad in your jeans. Boyfriend stands you up. Husband that forgets your anniversary. You zag back. The zigzag state. We've all been there. So ask yourself, what state are you in? Are you zigzagging? Are you looping? Are you aligned? We're capable of all 3. And sometimes we do a combination of all 3. And sometimes our straight line's a little squiggly. But a squiggly straight line is way better than a zigzag where you're going back. I have been a zigzagger often. Something I've been very good about in straight line is my physical health. Whenever it falls off, especially my weight and my physique, I'm able to get on a straight line and get it done really quickly. Relationships, not as much. Finances, no, definitely zigzag there. And it's because of old programs and beliefs. So just being aware of that. And here's why. And we'll stop after this because this is getting advanced. Because the 9 steps, knowing your calorie accountability number, knowing the time eating protocol to follow, going through all the courses in the classroom, that will take the weight off. No doubt about it. But if you loop and say, I better get more information, I better fully understand it, or you zigzag, it's going to take a long time. But if you just go in a straight line and do it, ask questions if you have them, you're going to lose the weight. But when it comes to keeping the weight off, this is what I'm passionate about. This is the part that I could talk about, teach about, and help people with all day long because it matters the most. Your inner identity, your self-concept, your inner stance, your level of consciousness, your inner attitude. It's how you exist in the world. Are you a victim, or are you someone who takes responsibility? Are you a looper, or are you a straight line? You have the blueprint to be everything you desire to be. God gave it to you, the universe gave it to you, the creator gave it to you. Give the higher power whatever word you want, but you already have the blueprint. I have the blueprint. It's always been there. We don't have to evolve into a higher version of ourselves. We have to align with our blueprint. That means becoming our true self. But this means we have to go through the unknown. We have to feel uncomfortable because we've been caught in this old false blueprint for so long. It's not even our blueprint. It's a program that we started running. And when we have straight line alignment, we are going from our old self with all of this comfort to this new self, which is really our true self. But this means we have to change our inner stance, our inner alignment. If your inner energy doesn't change, your body will change slowly. And when your body does change, it will most likely go back to the body that matches your inner energy. Now, this is not completely quantum and spiritual. There's physiological vibration to your energy right now. Like if I'm think about, oh, Lois looks bored, Lisa looks bored, I must suck. I mean, they probably don't like my energy's low. Like I can feel a lower vibration. But if I'm like, I am rocking this. This is going so well. Yeah, I mean, I feel it. I feel an energy. And guess what? People within 5 to 6 feet of me could feel it as well. It's physiological energy. Our heart, our gut, our brain makes electromagnetic current all throughout the day. It's always creating energy. So when they say higher frequency, higher vibe, it's absolutely true. Now there's a level of consciousness that we're all capable of that lets us tap into our authentic blueprint. When we shift back to that and align back to that, we will make intuitive decisions and choices that align with our authentic health. There won't be that cognitive dissonance, that argument inside your head of, no, I should do this, but I'm too tired. Oh, no, I'm going to do it anyway. No, there won't be. It'll be aligned. So it's elevating your inner energy, elevating your consciousness. And if you are a Christian, it would be aligning with the Holy Spirit, getting closer to Jesus. If you're a Buddhist, it would be letting go of your attachments and becoming one. But it's there. It's there for every person that's alive. If you're alive, you have this energy, your core, your essence, your soul, your spirit, your life light, your level of consciousness. Elevate your consciousness. You can elevate your consciousness right now. Breathe in through your nose. Fill up your whole lungs. Hold your breath for about 4 counts. Breathe out slowly. Do it 3 times in a row. You will literally elevate your energy and your state of consciousness right there. It will also calm down your fight or flight just with your breath. Now, if you want to elevate more, breathe in, breathe out, and as you breathe out, become the observer. You are no longer your body, you're no longer your mind, you're no longer your feelings. You are a conscious observer of what's going on. But you can't judge it. You can't judge what you're observing. That's good, that's bad. Why do I? No. You have to observe it with love and light and observe the thoughts, observe the feelings, observe the actions. But if you can breathe and become a higher level of consciousness that's observing your body and your brain and your emotions and your actions, you are elevating your consciousness. And you can take more control and make better choices. Your thoughts and beliefs, biology of belief. Your beliefs are hardwired thoughts. Either someone told it to you and you believed it, and you had a emotional response when they told you it, or you repeated the thought so many times, it became hardwired into your brain synapses. The neurons that fire together wire together. If you think the same thought again and again and again, it becomes your truth, your belief. You project, I project, all people project our perception onto the world. We project our perception. The way Lisa sees the world is different than the way Cindy sees the world. And it's different than the way I see the world. We create our own truth, and our truth is not everyone's truth. The only universal truth is this level of consciousness that can be the observer. Your body is vibrating. Every cell in your body is energy vibrating. It is not fixed or hardwired. Your body is in process. Your body is not your ultimate truth. It is your current physical state based on your actions, your beliefs, your energy, and everything that's happened to this moment. What you do right now determines this moment and the next. That's all we can control. So what perception of yourself and of the world are you projecting? Become the observer of what the perception is that you are projecting, because that creates your reality and what you experience. In any given moment, if you change your perception and your beliefs, your whole world changes. It's much easier to say this than to do it, though. Let me tell you that. Because I can give you this information and it makes sense and you understand it, but unless you embody it, unless you live it, unless you practice it, it won't matter. Good news is, I'm going to keep reminding you. And I know this from my education, my experience, and mostly from overcoming my own suffering in life and realizing that I was creating it with my own perception that I was projecting. And that at any time I could align with a higher level of consciousness, with my soul, with my God light, with infinite wisdom, and everything was clear. And that's how we get healthy quicker. And that's how we stay healthy after we shift there. All right, think of one. All right. Neuroplasticity, epigenetics, quantum science, biology of belief. There's a lot of science going on besides your hormones that you can take control over. This is the point where I answer any questions you have. Does anyone have? Hello, happy Wednesday. Ask your questions. No questions? No, either no one has anything or everyone's kind of like, I don't want to ask a question. What if everyone thinks I'm silly? What if everyone thinks I'm not that? I don't want them to think bad about me if I ask this question. They'll think, yeah, we're scared to ask things because we're scared of other people judging us. So I will go to the community, and you can type them in right now, or even raise your hand if you want to just say it because you don't really feel like typing. I'm fine. Because your questions, I'll answer them right here, right now for you. That's what these 5 minutes are for. Let's see. Ooh. By the way, I love that. This is so good. Thank you, Cindy Witt. Down a pound. Awesome. iPhone. Not positive who you are. Okay. Your basal metabolic rate is your metabolism. That's how fast your body processes calories and turns them into energy. Non-exercise activity thermogenesis. That's also known as NEAT. That is how many calories you burn without exercising throughout the day. So if you're someone that fidgets a lot and taps your feet, you actually have a higher NEAT. Exercise energy expenditure. People think they're exercising to burn enough calories to lose weight. No, it's barely any. And then thermo effect of food. The foods I ask you to eat that are not processed, that are hormone healthy, your body has to use calories to burn them. So calories matter, but if your inner alignment is off and your fat burning machinery is not turned on, the calories don't matter as much. But when your fat burning machinery is turned on and your inner alignment is higher level of consciousness, it's simple math. Simple math. Eat this many calories, you're going to lose fat. Eat more, you're gonna gain fat. Eat this same exact amount, you're gonna stay the same. So don't overcomplicate it and loop. Ask yourself, oh, I have this little quote to you. There's last call for questions too. And I want to say thank you to Cindy Witt. Thank you to Lisa. Thank you to Lois Coe. Big thank you to Lois because she put a reminder out for everyone today. Because I'm doing this free for anyone who wants it for the month of October, every Wednesday. And after that, it's going to be for clients only. So definitely take advantage of it. All right, last call for questions. Going. All you got to do is raise your hand. Thank you, Londa, for coming. Who else came? Let me see. I got your names here. Cindy, thank you. iPhone, thank you. Jess Bree, you are in the house. That makes me happy. Someone gave me another line. Lois, thanks again. Yolanda, thank you. Tom's Fathom Note Taker, thank you. Always glad. He takes notes. That's how you guys can watch the recording and replay later. All right. This is straight from Eckhart Tolle, one of my spiritual teachers. I saw him live. Don't necessarily recommend it, but I love him. And I'm actually going to do a book study group with the Power of Now. If you want to join that, more to be announced. But for now, make it a habit to monitor your mental emotional state through self-observation. Am I at ease at this moment? Is a good question to ask yourself frequently. Or you can ask, what's going on inside of me at this moment? What am I thinking? What am I feeling? Guess what that is, everyone? That is good old number 6. Daily thought and emotion awareness inventory. Because it's the same thoughts and the same emotions keep coming up. They're repeat offenders. We have to acknowledge what they are and do something about them. We got to take the power away. Jess, thank you very much. I'll be back on Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific time. And everybody that attended live, thank you so much. I'll have the recording up for everyone to watch again later. And don't forget, if you haven't done the songs yet, make sure you do. I love hearing your songs that motivate you. The groups is almost to 500 people. So when it's to 500, I'm going to start charging like $5 to get in the group. And I'm also going to be kicking out people who aren't active and aren't doing stuff. But you all are the good ones because you are taking action, you're showing up, and I really appreciate it. Because if you couldn't tell, I love teaching. The thing about teaching is you need people to teach. So thank you for showing up. It made my night. And this truly was the best part of my day so far. So thank you. Coach Tom, most grateful man on the planet. And I am grateful that I could share what I know to help you so you can share what you know to embody it and help someone else. Go forth and do well.